You're waiting for someone to notice your pain, for assignment things will get better, for the right person, the right time, the perfect motivation. But here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. And the sooner you accept that, the faster everything changes. We grow up believing someone will rescue us, that one day life will hand us a break, a partner, a miracle. But the longer you wait, the more bitter you become. Because here's what no one tells you. There is no hero coming. There is no magical answer. There is only you and what you decide to do next. So let's talk about why this truth, as painful as it sounds, is actually the most freeing thing you'll ever realize. And the first thing you have to realize is that responsibility is power.
When you stop blaming your past, your parents, your ex, or your circumstances, you get your power back. Because blame might feel good in the moment, but it quietly convinces you that you're helpless. It tells you, this is happening to me and I can't do anything about it. But responsibility, even for things that weren't your fault, is what gives you control. It doesn't mean you deserve the pain. It doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means you're no longer letting it define what happens next. Because if it's your responsibility, it's your move. And that means you're not stuck. You're just one honest decision away from a different direction. It might not feel fair, but fairness isn't what builds strength. Ownership does. Courage does. Waking up and saying, this is on me now, and I'm not going to waste it. That's where growth begins. That's when things change. Not when life becomes easier, but when you decide to become stronger than your excuses. You don't need to erase the past. You just need to stop handing it the pen. Your story is still being written. Take the pen back, but don't wait for too long. The waiting keeps you weak.
The more you wait for help, the more helpless you feel. And the more helpless you feel, the more you start shrinking your own potential, quietly, almost without noticing. That mindset doesn't just affect one part of your life, it bleeds into everything. You don't start the business, not because you're not ready, but because you're waiting for someone to believe in you first. You stay in the wrong relationship, not because you're happy, but because the idea of being alone terrifies you. You avoid that difficult conversation, not because it's the right thing to do, but because you secretly hope someone else will solve it for you. You tell yourself you're just being patient, but really you're postponing your power. Because reality doesn't reward people who wait, it rewards people who act, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's lonely, even when there's no applause. You're not stuck because the world is unfair. You're stuck because you're waiting for permission to change. Stop waiting. Start moving. No one is coming to save you, but you can still save yourself, because no one knows your vision better than you do.
Even the people who love you the most will never fully understand what you're trying to build. And that's okay. They don't have your vision. They haven't lived your battles. They weren't there during those quiet moments when you almost gave up, but didn't. So no, they won't always get it. And truthfully, it's not their job to. Your dreams are your responsibility. Your healing, yours too. Your peace, your boundaries, your growth. All yours. Because no one else can carry that weight for you. Not long term. They might support you, cheer for you, even walk beside you for a while. But the hard choices, the lonely nights, the daily discipline, that's on you. And if you think about it, would you really want it any other way? Would you want someone else steering the life you're here to live? Would you trust anyone else to feel your calling the way you do? Probably not, because this is your mountain, your path, your voice, and no one's going to fight for it harder than you. You have nobody else to rely on if you want to change. No one is going to change your life as they have theirs. So if you want to win, plan everything in advance by yourself, as only you are your own backup plan.
What if the worst happened? What if everyone left? What if nothing worked out? Not the plan, not the backup plan, not even the version you were quietly counting on. What would you do then? You'd figure it out. Not because it would be easy, not because you'd feel ready, but because deep down, you've always had more resilience than you realized. You'd cry. You'd sit in the mess for a while, and then you'd stand up. One small step, one decision, one act of courage at a time. We spend so much time building safety nets, relationships, careers, routines, identities, trying to protect ourselves from the fall. But sometimes the fall is where we finally find out what we're made of. And here's the truth. When you stop needing guarantees, when you stop clinging to comfort, that's when you start to fly. Not because you're fearless, but because you trust yourself to land no matter what. And that quiet trust, that's where real freedom begins. You've survived before. You'll do it again. And next time, you won't just survive, you'll rise. You'll rise like no other, and you will be unrecognizable. But still, you'll do it all alone, because help is a bonus. It cannot be a plan.
Yes, support is beautiful. Yes, having someone in your corner helps. Yes, mentors, friends, partners, they all play a role. But at the end of the day, none of them can do the work for you. The gym partner won't show up forever. The motivational video that fired you up today, it might feel empty tomorrow. And the people who believe in you, they still can't carry your discipline, your habits, your choices. There comes a point when you have to choose. Will I only move when someone's watching? Will I only care when someone's clapping? Or will I show up because I said I would? You can't outsource self-respect. You can't delegate the work it takes to build the life you want. And honestly, you shouldn't want to. Because the quietest victories, the ones no one sees, are often the ones that change you the most. Build your life like no one's watching. Train, learn, create, evolve, even when it feels like no one cares. Eventually, they'll notice. They just won't say a word. They'll watch in silence. And by then, you won't need the applause. Now you have to think about the practical use of this knowledge, what to do with it in particular.
First of all, get radically honest with yourself. Where are you still waiting instead of moving? What excuses have you disguised as patience? The truth is, most of us already know what needs to change. We're just scared to admit it, because action means responsibility. Secondly, choose one thing you can control and do it daily. Not perfectly, not impressively, just consistently. Discipline isn't about feeling ready. It's about doing what matters, especially when you don't want to. Next, stop complaining. Start creating. Every time you vent without action, you reinforce the belief that you're powerless. But every time you build a habit, a boundary, a new thought pattern, you reclaim that power. Finally, stop hoping someone will fix you. Start showing up for yourself like no one else ever could. Because no one's coming to do it for you. And that's not bad news. That's freedom. That's where the real change begins. Not when your circumstances shift, not when people finally treat you right, but when you decide, I'm done waiting, I'm ready to move.
No one is coming. Not because the world is cruel, but because the world is watching, waiting to see what you do next. It's not ignoring you. It's offering you a choice. Stay still or step forward. You are not helpless. You've just been conditioned to believe you need permission. You are not broken. You've just carried pain for so long that you forgot what power feels like. You are not alone. You've just spent too much time hoping someone else would choose you before you choose yourself. The truth? You are the one you've been waiting for. No hero, no rescuer, just you with clear eyes, steady hands, and the decision to begin. So stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop waiting for support that may never come. Stop waiting for someone else to light the fire. Start building. Start moving. Start becoming the kind of person who never needed saving in the first place, because they remembered they could save themselves all along. The world doesn't need you to wait. It needs you to wake up. And the sooner you do it, the faster your life will change for the better. Rely only on yourself, and stay with me to help you on your way of mental growth. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your attention.